Welcome to the 5th lecture in Module 1, and in this lecture we'll discuss setting up your development environment. In this class we'll be using the Ruby on Rails, or simply Rails, development environment extensively. And we'll use that to investigate the various protocols and technologies that exist with web application frameworks in general. To get your environment set up, the first thing we'll need to do is install the Ruby programming language. Once that's done, you can install the Rails gem on top of that. A gem in the Ruby programming language is simply a package or a library. So Rails is simply a package that runs on top of Ruby. You'll also need a modern text editor that supports syntax highlighting or some type of integrated development environment. Two examples are Aptana and RubyMine. So if you're interested in using those, just search online. You'll need a modern web browser that has integrated developer tools. I'll show you an example of this in a moment. What this will allow you to do is inspect your web application, debug it, and also optimize it so it performs faster. We'll use a SQLite database browser. SQLite is the database that comes with Rails, and we'll use this in order to inspect what's in that database. And we'll use Git as a version control system in order to manage your software, and this is also how you submit your assignments through GitHub. The exact manner in which you set up your development environment is going to depend on the operating system you're using and how you like to work. In the notes that are attached to this lecture, we'll give you some guidance and we'll point you to some particular URLs that may help you in setting up your Ruby on Rails environment for your particular platform. We'll also provide operating system specific suggestions for you to help you in order to get your particular development environment optimized. And some students have a difficult time getting a development environment set up. In that case, we're also going to build a virtual machine for you that you can download and use, and it'll have everything set up on it so that you can get to work immediately. Now, throughout this course, I'll be demonstrating the manner in which I develop and use Rails applications. Let me give you a quick demo. So let me show you how I've set up my development environment. I'm working within an Apple environment, and this is the terminal window that I have to interact with the operating system. So this provides a shell to the operating system. And I've already installed Ruby, Rails, and Git on this, and you should verify that it's working on your machine as well. And if you'd like to see the version number you're running, type Ruby -- version, and you see I'm running the Ruby 2.0. And same for Rails -- version, and you'll see that I'm running Rails 4.0. And for Git, you can verify the version that you're running by typing Git -- version, and you see that I'm running Git version 1.7 as well. Now, I've mentioned the need for a modern text editor. I'm using TextMate, which is not open source. It's available for a small fee. And in this case, what you can do is I can drag a Rails project into this side panel, open it up, and in this case I'm showing you the project for degree plans that I discussed previously. And if we take a look at, I can open up and navigate through the project. I can look at a particular piece of code here, and you see that it has syntax highlighting available to me. So for example, the comments are one color, keywords are another color. So this is a very handy thing to have, to be able to quickly be able to look at your source code and to be able to see the various parts of the source code according to this syntax highlighting. For my web browser, I actually use a number of different web browsers, and it's important to do this because you don't know what web browser a particular user may access your site through, and so it's important to test as many as you can. In this case, I have Chrome open. I'm using the Chrome web browser. And I've got the degrees.unm.edu website open that I showed you previously. Whatever browser you use, it's important to have developer tools available to you. And in the case of Chrome, if I right-click, I can inspect element, and it opens up a developer's panel down below. And notice that it's showing the HTML code associated with this website. If I select network here, and I pick a link, you'll see the network traffic that's going between the website and the browser, and that's shown down below in this panel as well. Now let's take a look at Firefox. In the case of Firefox, there's a Firebug plugin that I use. And if I click on that, I get a similar developer's window down below. And if I select HTML, again, I can inspect the HTML that's in the panel above. And there's also a net panel. If I select this same link, you'll see the network traffic going back and forth. So it's really up to you which of these you prefer for debugging purposes. In my environment, I've installed SQLite Database Browser, and this allows me to inspect a database that's locally stored on my machine as we're developing an application. So let me open this, go to where I've stored this Wild Weasel project, which is what I've shown you previously. And if I select development.sqlite 3, it will open up that database, and I can inspect the various tables associated with that database and actually browse the data that's stored in the database as well. If you're using Firefox, there is a SQLite manager that you can install as a plugin for Firefox, and I encourage you to use that. So now it's up to you. Getting a working development environment is non-trivial. Get to work on this, get it to work properly, and you'll be well on your way to having success in this course. This completes the 5th lecture in Module 1.